Hello again, this is Mike from Safety Works. We're here to do another micro safety training. Today's topic is on hazardous energy control, OSHA's rule, more commonly referred to as lockout tagout. And basically what we're doing is coming up with a safe way to deal with unexpected startup or release of stored energy. Energies in machines or equipment that can cause serious harm or even death. Our focus today is going to be on the energy sources. Once we understand those energy sources and we have a clear understanding of the dangers that they represent, then we can begin to move forward. But we need to get our heads wrapped around these sources and their dangers. So the one way that we go about this is put together a formal program in accordance with OSHA's Rule 1910-147. And the program that we put together has to be a three-part program. And the three parts include procedure for all machines and equipment that's going to be worked on. It has to include employee training for authorized people and unauthorized people. And then finally, there has to be a periodic inspection of the people and the program to make sure that everything is working properly. So before we work on any machine or piece of equipment, it needs to be rendered inoperative. In other words, we need to be certain that we accomplish a zero energy state. Now, with that in mind, remember that only authorized people are allowed to lock out a piece of equipment. That's because they're the ones that's been trained and they know how to follow the procedure. It has to be someone also that's familiar with that piece of equipment. And then that person needs to lock it out in accordance with the procedure, following that systematic approach to controlling that energy. Now remember, if there is no procedure available, lockout's not allowed. If there's no written procedure, you can't lock it out. That's what the law says. You need to come up with a procedure before you lock it out. Remember, these procedures are a step-by-step process that guard against the unexpected energization of a piece of equipment or a machine. Now, I want to say that you need to make a special note that there could be stored or residual energy even after something is locked out. And it's very important that as part of that procedure, we deal with this stored or residual energy. So we have to be sure before we work on it that energy is relieved, it's disconnected, and restrained. It's very important that you understand all of what we're talking about here. Now today we're going to ask you to go into your workplace and identify some machines or equipment where lockout is going to need to be done. Locate the controls on those energy sources where you could lock it out. And I'd like you to make a list of those. And then when you come back into the group, we're going to discuss the dangers associated with all those energy sources. In other words, how could it hurt you? Could it kill you? That happens frequently. OSHA regularly posts situations where somebody gets killed because they fail to follow lockout procedures. So, as we go out and we take a look at this equipment in these machines, make sure that you look for all the energy sources. There could be multiple energy sources. Some cases there might only be one. In some cases there's a lot of energy sources on a single piece of equipment. We need to look for electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical, thermal, kinetic. Something's up and it could fall down. So we need to look at all of the possibilities if we can. And in order to demonstrate this, I have put together a couple short videos. So we'll run those videos and I'll talk you through what we're looking for when we go out into the workplace. In this particular video, we're showing you the inside of the machine, the control panel, start, stop buttons, that sort of thing. Then I walk around the back of the machine, around the machine, looking for different energy sources. We see that there's electrical energy sources. We see the procedure hanging up there, the warnings associated with it. On the back of the machine, we found some air lines, pneumatic energy coming in. These are all sources that need to get locked out. And then we've taken another short video of a different piece of equipment that really has different kinds of issues, different dangers. In this particular case, the operator may need to go in and clean this machine or reach into it. If there's an unexpected energization or startup, they could be crushed. They could lose an arm. So it's very important that we identify all of these sources, make sure that we follow the procedure that I keep referring to, or else we're going to have problems. So in closing, what I'd like you to do is put all this information that we've just gone through to work. Let's go out into your workplace and identify a couple machines. And then list the energy sources that are on those machines. And I'd like you to explain the dangers to the group when you come back. When you get that all completed and go through the discussion with your fellow employees, training isn't done yet. You have to be certified by your supervisor that you've completed this training satisfactorily. Your supervisor will then complete the form, certifying that you meet the criteria, and that information then will be kept on file. So until our next training next week, be safe and look out for one another.